All right, good evening. Thank you for joining me today. I have many issues on the agenda, and I look forward to taking any questions you have after my opening statement here. Yesterday evening, President Roberts addressed the nation to follow up on the State of the Union that was interrupted. It came after former Vice President Ben Norton announced his resignation with an effective time of midnight last night. To quote the president, "Since his time as mayor of Raleigh, Ben has always been a defender of Main Street businesses in their quest for success and growth. That's why as mayor, state senator, then governor, and finally vice president, Ben dedicated himself to providing tax relief to those entrepreneurs. In the White House, I saw him advance our goal of reducing the corporate tax rate to a flat 18%, a measure that would return jobs to the United States and keep them, all while uplifting small and large businesses," end quote. President Roberts went further to say, "Even on our darkest days, Ben was a light on the campaign trail and in the White House, a testament to his character and personality. He will be sorely missed, and we look forward to supporting him in his future endeavors," end quote. To give you more major headlines from that address, the president has nominated Attorney General and former Senator Cyrus Bean to take former Vice President Norton's place. With stable and efficient and effective leadership in his short time as head of the Justice Department, General Bean worked in the Senate, where he worked to advance the goals so many care about, bringing down the cost of living, cutting taxes, and bettering the criminal justice system. The president believes General Bean will receive wide bipartisan support in both chambers of Congress and urges prompt action. Going on, President Roberts looks forward to seeing his legislative priorities enacted into law. With crumbling roads, unsafe rest areas, and thousands of small-town supply chains interrupted, the president proposed a 5-year, $5.5 billion American Transportation Renewal Plan. Paid for with no new taxes, its goals are resurfacing rural areas that are in dire need, repairing key bridges across the nation before they reach failure state, and the subsidiary creation of the Transportation Skills Fund for a better trained workforce. Quoting President Roberts, "When roads are strong, our economy moves," end quote. Further, Senate Republicans and the president collaborated to produce a budget bill for the fiscal year that enacts their economic agenda into law. Passed with bipartisan support in the Senate, Democrats and Republicans. Note that, please. The bill now makes its way to the House, where President Roberts urges swift passage. The bill would invest in small businesses across the nation. It promotes clean energy without abandoning energy workers. It will reduce wasteful spending while protecting core services the government provides, and it incentivizes workforce development. And of course, as all fiscal year budgets do, it funds the government. As the president said last night, and I quote, "Let's not stall it, let's get it done," end quote. Folks, that's all I had for my opening statement. Something I just want to add on in light of some recent developments for the day. Listen, President Roberts believes this, even after everything that's gone on today, which I know it's been a clouded news cycle, and I look forward to taking your questions on that. But even past that, the president believes that as a country, we have a national identity despite our differences. Our flag is more than fabric, and he said it's fire, it's hope stitched with sacrifice. Now, he mentioned a story last night of James Reynolds, a Vietnam vet and a steelworker from Ohio. Now, the president understands that this country has left veterans behind. It understands that our veterans are the ones who enable us, me specifically, to even stand on this stage and to make statements like this president does truly care about bipartisanship. But it goes further than that. Our veterans deserve more than petty politics here in Washington, D.C. We have a problem. Thousands of veterans are homeless across the United States. The Veterans Affairs Department is delayed and it's backlogged. That's why the president has proposed the Veterans Direct Access Program expansion. It covers physical, mental, and spiritual care. It modernizes those VA systems that are severely archaic, and it includes faith-based and community healing services, proven effective. A nation that forgets its warriors forgets itself, according to the president. In his final call to action in the address last night, the president urges Congress to put politics aside and to act now, not after the midterm elections, not after the next general election. To all Americans, the president says, there is still room for your dreams, and this moment will be defined by our response, not the attacks. The sun is still rising over this republic, to quote the president. So thank you very much for listening. Who would like to start us off with some questions? Excuse me. I will go to C-SPAN here. Excuse me.
Okay. First question. What is the White House response to the Speaker's announcement of a new House Select Committee to investigate alleged misconduct and potential high crimes by the President and senior officials of this administration based on whistleblower disclosures?
Sure. These are serious allegations, and thank you for the question. Listen. As I said before, these allegations are serious, but let me just frame it to you like this. Yesterday afternoon, a poll came out from Forbes, a reputable news organization, as we are all well aware, that showed that if the election were held today, Republicans would win the midterm elections 65% of the vote nationally, to 31%, I believe, to the opposite party, and with some undecided or some voting more for independence. That is obviously a wide margin. Today we got the news very early this morning, very late into the night, if you will, at around 1 a.m., that things were ramping up on Capitol Hill. Members of Congress were beginning to get concerned. I believe some of those concerns were cleared up in the State Department press conference, but I will comment on those shortly, about a statement from the ambassador and from the State Department. And they were obviously, understandably, very concerned by that. But then what happened was congressional leaders, specifically the House Speaker, whom the President has the utmost respect for, whom I do as well, and who this entire administration does, the Speaker of the House decided 3 times in the course of 24 hours to invoke the word impeachment. That's not necessary. If the Speaker truly believes that impeachment is not a political tool, then he would not continuously say it over and over again. It's something that was unnecessary and didn't need to happen, and it sends the incorrect message if his true intention is to simply have a non-partisan investigation, which if he does, this White House will obviously comply with. However, the fact that it came directly after this poll came out, the fact that this would obviously not have good looks, if you will, for the White House or for the President in the lead up to the midterm elections sends a message of incredibly questionable intentions on the part of the Speaker and other leaders in the House. That is simply all we are saying at this time regarding that situation. It is incredibly coincidental that that poll would come out showing such a significant margin between how Americans would vote, one party versus the other, and then the very next day, only a few hours, actually, because I believe the announcement came sometime in the AMs, so only a few hours later, we get word that the Speaker is gearing up to form a special investigatory committee. I don't believe, the President and the White House does not believe that is coincidental. If this investigation is truly not about partisanship and truly trying to seek the truth for whatever confusion or miscommunications there will have been, we look forward to it. That's what we have to say regarding that.
To follow up, Mr. Press Secretary, so do you also have a response to the Speaker signaling his intent to block President Roberts' legislative agenda in light of the ongoing investigations and the political tensions between the White House and Congress?
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Oh, there we go. You're back now.
Did you hear my question, or?
I did not know. If you could repeat it.
Oh, does the White House also have a response to Speaker Carter's signaling his intent to block President Roberts' legislative agenda in light of the ongoing investigations and the political tensions between the White House and Congress?
Absolutely. You know, you're setting that down in front of me now. Here's what I'll say. I can't confirm that, whether or not that's what the Speaker is saying, and if that is something that was said in role play, speaking out of role play here. Listen, if that's correct, I think it just proves the point further, that this is a political game. This is political gamesmanship, if that is correct. You don't stall the president's legislative agenda, which is the agenda of the nation, considering the fact that the Republican Party, the president's party, controls the majority of the Congress. You do not stall that agenda if you're truly trying to accomplish any sort of anything. That's not something that you do. That is literally the definition of political games, and it's something that the president does not stand for. The president believes this. As I said before, he looks forward to making clear with the Congress his intentions, whether it comes to foreign policy, whether it comes to domestic policy, whatever it may be. He looks forward to those conversations with Congress, but he cannot work with a divided Congress if half of it is saying, no, Mr. President, we are going to form a quote-unquote nonpartisan, bipartisan investigatory committee to see if you have committed any crimes, and along with that, we are going to stall your legislative agenda. By the way, that legislative agenda also includes the nomination of this nation's next vice president. If they intend to stall that, I think that shows every intention of the party opposite. We need a vice president. So that's what I'll say to that.
Thank you. Those are all my questions.
All right, thank you very much.
Mr.
Next we'll go to
Secretary.
Cody. Oh, I'm sorry. Next we'll go to CNN. Nicholas, go ahead.
All right, Mr. Press Secretary. My first question will be is that does President Roberts believe that his vice president nominee will pass both chambers in the House?
Absolutely. As the president stated yesterday in his address and in a statement that I made, we believe that General Bean will receive wide bipartisan support, in both chambers of Congress. We believe he effectively can represent both sides of the political spectrum. He believes in the value and the importance and the principles of the Constitution, and that's something we think that every member of Congress can get behind. We look forward to his passage. And we hope that, let me say this also, just to give some context to any people watching who may not know. Traditionally, when a vice presidential nominee is nominated, they first go through the House of Representatives. That's how President Nixon did it with Gerald Ford, and I am confident that that is the precedence we are going to follow. So we hope that the House will take it up and not delay that any longer. Next, we'll go to Cody.
Hello?
Hi there.
Okay. Can you provide me an update on how President Roberts is doing following the assassination attempt? How is his recovery progressing, and is he currently able to carry out any presidential duties?
Absolutely. Thank you for the question. It's a great one. So yesterday, the White House released Dr. Rossi, the physician to the president, his medical evaluation of both the president and former vice president. In it, to answer the second half of your question directly, he stated, and I quote now, "There is no threat to their capacity," they being the president and former vice president, "their capacity to fulfill their constitutional responsibilities at this time." Dr. Rossi then stated that he will provide further updates, which he will, as clinically mandated. So, yeah, absolutely. The president is making a full recovery at the moment. His follow-up is scheduled tomorrow with Dr. Rossi, and I can give you word after that evaluation tomorrow. But, you know, I've been talking to the president a lot today, and he is in perfect condition, just as he was before the intrusion into the State of the Union address.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, next we'll go to Boris.
Thank you, Mr. Press Secretary. Great to speak to you again.
You as well.
I've just got two questions for you. It's mainly regarding the House Democrats.
Sure.
So last night we saw the resignation of Laura Roberts due to issues in the House Democrat leadership. Since apparently there were some issues regarding the choice that the president made of the vice president. Is the president confident that this vice presidential nominee will pass in regards to the Democrat House side, since I have the majority?
Yes, thank you for the question. The president believes that if any reasonable member of Congress would look into the record of General Bean and see his performance at DOJ, see his performance as a United States Senator, they would obviously see that this is a man who does not care for partisanship. He cares about getting things done. He believes in fighting for the issues that the American people care about, the issues that affect their everyday lives. Him and the president share that, which is why I think the president selected him. And so, yeah, absolutely. We believe that if any member of Congress were to just look at this nominee, they would see that he is more than qualified, more than capable, and far more than the word competent does justice to serve as the nation's next vice president.
All right, and my second question. So I've heard from my sources that House Democrats have tried to schedule meetings with the president, so we think the VP nominee has the president spoke with House Democrats or met with House Democrats.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I think I misheard something.
So yeah, sure. So I heard sources from House Democrats that the House Democrats have tried to schedule meetings with the president, so we think his VP nominee. Has the president spoke with House Democrats or met with House Democrats?
The president has yet to meet with House Democrats about the nominee for vice president. As I'm sure you understand, it just came out last night. He will, of course, meet with them. He will also meet with House Republicans, Senate Republicans, and Senate Democrats about it, and obviously congressional leaders. To the extent of my knowledge, no. The president or anybody at the White House has not received any requests from House Democrats to sit down with the president regarding his nominee.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Boris. I appreciate the questions. There was something I wanted to add on to that as well. Let's see. Oh, it'll come back to me. All right, we'll go to Royce.
Thank you, Mr. Press Secretary, for bringing me up. My question is, what was he going to say? So, has the president been eating solid foods? Like, has he been able to, like?
Okay. I heard part of your question. The answer is yes. The injury the president sustained Tuesday evening did not impair his ability to eat any solid foods or anything. He was administered with, obviously some medications to ease any pain or bleeding, but those had no effect on his ability to consume any foods or anything like that. Next, I will go to Carlos, and then to John.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hi there. Yep.
Okay. All right. So my first question is, I noticed that you said something about the budget bill being bipartisan in the Senate. I don't think that two Democrats are bipartisan, but I digress.
Well, if I just can, the definition of bipartisanship is support by parties, whether that's one vote or two votes. That's bipartisanship.
Right. But I mean, there's not really any bipartisanship when cabinet members weren't even allowed to have any input in what they wanted for their departments. But that's neither.
The Senate is an incredibly small body in this group, so two Democratic senators is a significant.
My real question is, in the budget proposal, especially for my community, I represent in southern Georgia. There's this thing inside the budget that's giving $0 to the Delta Regional Authority. And I don't know if you know what that is in particular, so let me just explain it to you. Basically, it's a investment into expansion for rural towns, especially in southern Georgia. And it basically repairs infrastructure, and that money goes towards health clinics in that area, so folks don't have to drive way out to Atlanta or those major cities just to receive anything. They can have something right there in their hometown, their small little hometown that they have. So this agency basically help people that Washington forget about. And in the budget proposal that you said is great, is providing $0 towards this. And also the program as well creates job training programs for people so that they can stay in their hometowns instead of having to leave and drive 2 hours out to Atlanta or, any other major city like Savannah or anything like that. So, I'm just a little confused. Did the president really read the bill, or?
Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you for the question. Very valid concerns. Yeah, I think the important thing to understand here is the context behind it. The legislation that the budget bill that you're specifically referencing, I am not particularly familiar with that provision that you're stating, so I'm just going to trust your word for it. And if that's true, my response would be that the president's infrastructure and healthcare agenda, that side of his legislative priorities, that would make up for any money that is not appropriated to the program that you're specifically discussing. So that program, what I can most likely assume is that based on the president's healthcare and infrastructure agenda, particular programs, new programs that the president is going to hopefully sign into law are going to be more effective. And you're talking a lot about healthcare centers for rural Georgians. I can tell you that the president's healthcare agenda invests in community healthcare centers, specifically in rural areas, to ensure that the issue that you're talking about, folks having to drive out hundreds of miles to the next major health clinic does not occur. It builds those clinics right in their areas and those centers right in their areas. I can also tell you, I think you mentioned something about infrastructure as well. In the president's infrastructure agenda, I'm assuming that some of the money was also cut from that program because of the expense of the American Transportation Renewal Proposal. That's the president's infrastructure legislation, which will put into law several programs that cover the issues that you're talking about. Just some major highlights.
Does it directly cover those southern Georgians who now don't even, have to drive? Some of them don't even have cars. Mind you.
Yeah.
These are, these are communities that can't really go out. They're not really accessible with the real world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and then also too, Federal Election Commission, $0. I'm just saying, National Council on Disability, $0. So it's just a lot on this budget proposal that is kind of rubbing me the wrong way, if that makes sense.
Understandably. Well, I can tell you that with budgets, you're going to see a lot of cuts to things, but also a lot of investments in things. Money is being shifted constantly in a budget, and that's exactly what I think you're seeing. And it's no cause for alarm because of the fact that the president has programs that he plans to initiate that would take care of those issues. So you're talking about rural Georgians. Yes, the parts of his legislative agenda will cover every rural American, including Georgians. And for ones that are
I do hope so. I do hope so, Mr. Press Secretary, because my Georgians, they want answers. They're scared and they want answers. And with the way that this administration is going, they don't know anymore. They're looking to me for answers. So now I have to deliver and give them something. That's
absolutely. Well, absolutely. Well, I am I'm happy to see that you're following your responsibilities. I can tell you as a representative of them, and thank you for coming up for the questions. And I can assure you that with the president's budget and his legislative agenda, if Congress decides to pass it into law, it will improve their lives. Next to Olivia.
Hello.
Hi there.
So I'm going to ask you a question I asked the Secretary of State. He said he had no knowledge that the president was traveling. Is that correct?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat it real quick?
The press secretary said he had no knowledge that the president was traveling. Is that correct?
I'm the press secretary.
Not the president. The president.
The president. The president had no knowledge of what?
The Secretary of State had no knowledge that the president was traveling to Israel.
Oh, the Secretary of State had no knowledge. Was that something that was recently said at his press conference or his press briefing or something?
Yeah, he said it.
I am unfamiliar with the statements. I can tell you, though, that the White House and the Department of State, their schedules, especially foreign trips, those are communicated back and forth. They're coordinated between the two departments, or I'm sorry, between the two locations.
Then why is he saying he doesn't know?
I'm honestly, I have not. I didn't get a chance to watch that press conference, so I can't really give you an exact answer to that. But I can circle back to you about it.
Okay, and I have one more.
Mm-hmm.
Are we giving defensive weapons to Israel, like missiles?
Are we giving defensive weapons to Israel?
Yeah.
To the extent of my knowledge on Israeli defense and the U.S.'s backing of that, no, we are not giving them missiles at this time or any sort of military assistance in that form. But in other ways, yes, we are supporting them.
Like what?
As I'm sure you might be.
Hold on. The White House would like to make an edit to that statement. As of right now, relations to Israel, I'd like to refer you to the State Department going forward on that. As of right now, we're dealing with some things at the White House in Israel. We are planning a meeting later today with the Israeli Prime Minister. So as of right now, the White House would like to state that for any questions relating to Israel or defense objects, please refer to the Department of State on that.
Why are we referring military equipment to the Department of State and not the Department of Defense?
Well, it has all to do with relations with Israel. So
yes, the president maintains a communicative relationship with the state of Israel and their leaders. To the specifics of your question, I would really defer you to the Department of State, though. They can give you a more informed answer than I can.
Okay.
Thank you so much for the question. Let's see. John.
Yeah, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Why is the president condemning the use of kosher 3000 when he himself spectated the launch, took a picture with the Prime Minister of Israel, supported the launch, and then on top of that was planning on signing a contract and had a whole cabinet meeting about
that is not true.
It is true. It is true because your own people were mentioning it as well.
Hold on. The president would like to state that the president, when he saw the contract, he immediately referred the individuals involved to the Department of Justice. That's actually why we're going to have a Department of Justice press conference in a couple of minutes here. I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. The thing is about that is that the president witnessed the launch. He was not accompanied or in relations with any of the individuals there. All he did was see what happened. He was interested in not the technology, but he didn't believe in what was going to happen. So he told his members of Secret Service to bring him there. He watched the launch, but he is not. And as soon as he saw it, he immediately went over to the Department of Justice. We do not, the United States, as we have said, and this comes from our United Nations, and a multitude of three different countries have condemned this already. The United States strongly condemns the acquisition and use of Kosher Innovations, Kosher 3000 mobile ICBM. And while we recognize the need for self-defense for all nations, we believe that the use of these military objects from a private company is unnecessary. And again, for all relations relating to Israel or Kosher Innovations, we refer you to the State Department. Thank you.
Director, with all due respect, that's just flat out false because the president himself told me that he was interested. He was going to go straight to the cabinet. After that, he took a video. The video was recorded by himself. He was extremely interested in it. He said he was going to go straight to the cabinet, and he did. He sent me a picture of him in the cabinet room. The Secretary of Energy also mentioned he was going to discuss it with the cabinet about a contract. So please inform us with the truth. Do not make up these lies and throw down that Kosher Innovations is the bad guy and all this, when you guys, the U.S. government, was purely interested in it. You have to tell us the truth. You have to tell the public the truth because there's records, there's logs, there's proof of everything. You can keep telling the lies, but it's
the truth surrounding the issue is that
we have records of it. We have records. There's nothing to hide. There's records of it.
I understand. The truth around it is that the president supports the state of Israel, and he is continuing, obviously, relations with the state of Israel. However, the development of any nuclear weapons, while it might be deemed necessary by some nations' governments, in such a tenuous situation in the Middle East, it is of concern, simply. But to the specifics of your question, I would really refer you to the Department of State for that.
He had no problem with anything being sent to Israel. I mean, he's a staunch supporter of Israel. He had a meeting with the JAHF earlier in the day where he got a whole commemorative beeper. With funds basically being sent straight to Israel. I can defer you to Steinberg on that. But I just don't understand. The other thing I just don't understand is he went without the knowledge of his Secretary of State. He didn't even inform the Department of State that he was making a visit with his Secretary of Energy. There was also reports that the Secretary of Energy didn't even declare that he was there. He didn't declare until there was a leaked photo of him at the test site. If you can respond to that as well.
Sure. Here's what I can say to that. First of all, I truly cannot confirm any of this at all. Again, you have to go to the Department of State for the specifics. But what I can tell you is the president and the White House are not interested in any military objects from any company. The president, to my knowledge, did not sign any contract, and he referred it to the Department of Justice as his standard procedure.
They didn't sign it, but they were very interested in it. That they had a whole cabinet meeting.
Hello, hi. So we're gonna wrap this up because we got other events to get to. Yep. Just wrap this up, please, Gibby. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much, folks. Apparently, that is all we're going to have time for today. We really appreciate. I really appreciate you guys and your questions today. Let me just say once again that President Roberts believes in the strong case for bipartisanship in Washington, and he believes that every American can get behind the idea that their representatives in Washington should work together. That is why his budget bill received the president's budget bill and Senate Republicans' budget bill, and apparently Senate Democrats' budget bill, since they supported it as well, received bipartisanship in the Senate. We look forward to its passage in the House. We urge swift action. Thank you very much for your time today, folks. That's a full lid for the press corps.